Sometimes people pull back from kindness because they're afraid it'll make them a target. That being soft means being weak. That if you're too understanding, people will take advantage. But real kindness isn't naive. It doesn't mean saying yes to everything or letting people treat you poorly. Kindness is a choice you make about how you want to move through the world. And it costs you nothing in terms of your own strength or boundaries. You can be kind and still have limits. You can be gentle and still be firm. You can care about people and still protect your own energy. In fact, the people who are most genuinely kind are often the strongest ones in the room. Because it takes more courage to stay soft in a hard world than to harden yourself against it. And that same courage, the kind that lets you stay open instead of closing off, is the kind that also determines how you treat yourself when things go wrong. Because when something goes wrong, there's a thought pattern a lot of us fall into. Not, "that didn't work," or "I made a mistake," but "I always mess things up. This is just who I am." That leap, from one specific thing that went wrong to a permanent identity, that's where the damage happens. Mistakes are events. They happen in time. They start and they end. They don't define who you are. They're just things that happened. I always and I never and I'm just the kind of person who... Those are stories, not facts. And stories can be rewritten. Try this instead. That didn't go the way I wanted. What's one thing I can do differently next time? One small pivot from identity to action. You are not your worst moments. And the sooner you can meet yourself with the same gentleness you'd offer a good friend, the sooner you can actually move forward. Because here's what's easy to miss when we're caught up in being hard on ourselves. Life is still quietly offering us small things worth noticing. Somewhere along the way, we got the idea that the things worth being grateful for have to be big. A promotion. A milestone. Something worth posting about. But most of life isn't highlight reel material. Most of life is a good cup of something warm. A song that came on at exactly the right moment. The relief of finally taking off your shoes at the end of a long day. A laugh you didn't expect. These things count. They count a lot. Because happiness isn't usually one giant thing. It's dozens of small things you either notice or miss. And the practice of noticing, really catching something before it passes, letting yourself enjoy it fully without immediately moving on to the next thing. That's what gratitude actually is. So if there's a thread running through all of this, it's this. Stay soft enough to be kind, honest enough to catch yourself when a story tries to become an identity, and present enough to notice the small things that are already good. That's not a small ask, but it's worth it. One day at a time. You've got this.